Under contracts, you will be able to view anything under contracts. These items include contract documentation, pay applications, any changes, change order reports, potential changes, RFPs, CORs, etc. You will not be able to edit these again. However, you will be able to acknowledge whether you believe they're changed items, which I'll go into further detail in a minute here. But for now, let's start off with the contract management module. Once you get into that contract, you'll see who it's assigned to, contract numbers from the county or the client, any documents that are included, any approved change orders to date, total work certified, etc. The next tab over under the contract management would be schedule of values, which is taken from the bid schedule in the original contract documents. So if you have any questions, you could come here. You can print this out. You can do whatever you need to do. If you need to bring it to a meeting, or if you need to answer some questions on how much it costs to perform unclassified excavation or anything like that. The next tab over would be the potential changes. You'll see here a list of everything that was submitted to date. The PC number, whether it's a COR or an RFP, it'll have the numbers under that column heading. You'll see the status, whether it's approved or in review, whether it's closed or rejected or anything like that. The change orders tab will give you a list of all change orders that had been approved per this contract. You'll notice here there aren't any. So this covers the contract management module in VPO. If you go back up to the contracts drop down, you will not be able to update the pay app section. This is for Simplus personnel when we update each of the monthlies. You can get into the pay apps, in which you will be able to see a list of all pay apps that have been approved to date. You'll notice the sum of all pay apps up there. You can sort it by heading, approved, total, period, ball and court, etc., similar to any other module. Again, you have different views that you could use up here if you want to arrange your data by any other view. If you're interested in any details or discussions or anything on each of these pay apps, just click on the link and you can see when it was submitted, when we return comments, when it was approved, things like that. So that should all be found under the latest discussion and action item. Moving on to change order reports. Again, we already discussed there are no approved change orders at this time, but if there were, they would be under the change order report section, and you could use these views here to view all the change orders, any change orders that are currently active or approved, or any of these views once you click on the ellipsis. So that covers it for the change order reports. If you scroll down to the PCO reports, you'll notice a whole list of them. They're separated out currently by all RFPs. You could also do all CORs. You could do all PCOs, which would be everything. So say if we want to view it by all CORs or active PCOs. The consultant, being the engineer or the owner, to confirm that they agree with the change or the impact, they could get into the potential change order, whether it's a COR or RFP itself. Click on Manage and Edit. At this point, you would go to the Review tab and select the drop down for AE if you're the engineer and click yes. Make sure that you sign it, or you could click on the owner's acknowledgement, again yes or no, and confirm with your signature box down here. So that's how you acknowledge whether it's a change or whether you believe it's a change or not. It's similar to the RFIs. Again, you'll see your discussion history, the PCO number. This is clearly an RFP by the title. So that covers the PCO reports. The schedule of value reports is just a list of the schedule of values if you need to print it out for anything, or you have any questions on costs for each of the bid items. That covers it for the contracts module. Moving over to the documents, there's several items under the documents section, some of which we use, some of which we don't. The approved packages we currently do not use. This was basically going to be used for an area where our CQA or designers or anybody could come for basically approved submittals or anything like that. Given the submittals tab and being able to organize by approved items, we figured just store all submittals and everything over in that section. Bulletins we don't currently use. Certificates of insurance we store any insurance documents or anything like that under that item. Any drawings you can find under the drawings drop down. General documents, this is an area where you can find anything like correspondence or bid documents, estimates, survey data, things like that. Letters and notices, this is where we would place any NTP letters or requests for weather or anything like that. The meeting minutes will be found under the documents drop down. We place all weekly coordination meeting minutes, any specialty meeting minutes under this section. Again, you can sort them out by the headings at the top, meeting numbers, dates, etc. The notebook we do not use. The photos is a library of all photos taken throughout the project. You'll notice that they have titles on each of these. So if you're looking for something that occurred in the month of May or a prior month or something like that, you can come over to this calendar view. You can go back to whichever month you're searching for a specific item. We'll use July. Again, notice all these are separated by title or labeled by title. If you go up to calendar here, you can expand all. So if you're looking for the Northwest Barrow to Buttress fill, you'll notice that there's several pictures from Thursday. There's a picture or two on the 5th, the 6th, so you can kind of get an idea of how long this buttress fill took based on which pictures are found in the current months. So that's one easy way to find pictures of activities that were occurring during a specific month. Again, if you go back to the photos, you still have your views here. Gives you what dates the pictures were taken, titles, different information on those pictures. And then last in the Documents tab, we have our schedule. We currently track our monthly updates under submittals. So depending on the construction manager, this schedule tab may or may not be used. It looks like they started to use it on the FRB project It looks like they're keeping weekly look aheads, etc. under here, but typically all schedules are either kept. If it's a 3-week, we would keep it under our meeting minutes and attach it in the final documentation, or our monthly updates would be tracked as submittals as well. So that concludes the consultant's overview of VPO.